Hi, this is Ramirez with Tidewater Renaissance Fighting Arts, and today we're going to do something that we don't normally do, but we're going to explore the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Well, we're going to give a product a second chance to give a first impression. So this review is not a full review. As a matter of fact, I just got these, so it's just my initial impressions. And we'll be talking at length about the Gabriel 2.0. This is a five-fingered HEMA glove, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons. And long story short, I got a set that was defective. They replaced it, and we're going to talk about it, the pros and the cons. And I'm going to divide this into three parts. The first part will be my review of the glove, what it comes with, the good, the bad. And then I'll talk a little bit about how to purchase these because it's kind of complicated. And lastly, I'm going to give you my experience with the company because I had another review. I've taken it down as of posting this review where I couldn't recommend it. And we'll talk about how the company treated me, the good, the bad, and what you can expect. So let's start with the gloves. I have two. I'm just putting the left one on so that we can show it a case a little bit. Has a series of small plates that will make up the cuff, which is actually pretty wide. If you look at my hand, it's a fairly wide cuff, so it'll go over the jacket, which is kind of good. The plates are a little thin, and I've noticed that they can flex, so it's not necessarily as heavy as some of the other gloves that are out there. The plastic in some places is definitely lighter and definitely heavier in others. The actual, like here, pretty solid. The thumb is really a nice design. It has a little flex on the inside, so you can kind of see I can press that in. And that is, it would be a concern, but I think as you close it, it's meant to kind of brace against other parts. But just to know, if you're expecting like sparring glove, infinity glove kind of plastic, it's not as heavy. But the thumb, as I said, very well reinforced. So you have a hard plate here, your plate here. This thumb does kind of come around, and that plastic is fairly strong. I can get a little flex here towards the end, but the thumb itself seems pretty solid. It has a little bit of rubber grip on the interior of the glove, which is some sort of synthetic material. The fingers have these kind of knuckle plates. I can kind of show you up close. So before the knuckle, that presses in, and there's padding before there. It's going to be a little different from, let's say, as that a sparring glove is a heavier series of plates, but this is giving you a lot more flexibility and mobility. One of the things I really like, if you look very carefully in there, you're going to see these little straps. And this is a complaint I have with the Infinity gloves, is that those hold the glove and the plastic casing, so your fingers are a little better protected. As I said, the material's light. When I do my sparring, if you see, I can flex those plates. I think the idea is when you have your finger closed, this heavier plate will take most of that impact. These knuckle plates are fairly solid, but the little points that cover the side of your finger, they flex. I can feel that in my fingers. So, as I said, the side protection might be a little light. I'll find that out. I will put a full review after I've played around with this for a few weeks, maybe a month out. I'll put a little more detailed review for those of you that are waiting to say, how does it perform? As I said, I just got these in yesterday, so it's kind of hard to tell that right now. It does have a little material cover here to help protect so that shots can't go in to the joints here. However, like all five-fingered gloves, in between it is possible to get hit, and there's nothing in between the fingers to really protect. You can just feel the material in the glove. anytime you have something like this, it's a challenge to protect the entire hand. As I said, I do like this little rounding out. And as I said, the thumb is very well protected. The back, this plate's pretty solid. As I said, those knuckle plates seem pretty solid. So you have that going for you. The mobility is really, really good. And let me just, for the sake of argument, I've already put it in a longsword. I don't own a saber, but since this has a D-ring, we can kind of get an idea. I can put my finger around it. I can get good mobility. I can get a good grip on it. I can turn my wrist pretty well. So in that regard, good mobile flexibility, and I can easily grasp and have plenty of room for my fingers in there. So that is, if you're wondering how this would fit, this is the Meyer Rapier by Purple Heart, but I have plenty of space. You can see I can slide my hand into the fingers there. So I would suspect for most of you that do saber, you're going to have a lot of room in there to actually grab the weapon. Your curve, if you have the guard, you might have a little trouble, might not. It actually is a fairly thin profile. And I think that's really one of the perks for getting this. Now, I do rapier as well, so I can put either one finger over the ricasso, and I was actually quite surprised to learn that I could put two fingers under the ricasso. Probably not quite as well, but I can do it. It's not as good as a leather glove. You will obviously get a little bit of overlay outside of the bell, but for the most part, it does actually fit in. And if I just use one finger, I can get that in quite easily in my cup hilt rapier. So that's nice. And yeah, as far as longsword goes, that's kind of not an issue. I can quite easily hold my longsword, nice grip, nice movement, no real problems there. As far as the padding goes, there is some sort of padding in between the plastic and the glove itself. I noticed that there doesn't seem to be much. I can feel a little bit of squish under here, so there may be some slight padding under the plates. But as I pointed out, the cuff is fairly large, and I suspect that with the jacket in there, that's going to provide, they kind of figured that's going to provide you the padding that you need. The only thing I would say is that, like, trying to stretch out, I can feel it wanting to curl back in, so this is kind of its natural state in a relaxed hand. If I open it up, I can do that for grappling, so that's certainly possible to do. If you're used to doing a lot of grappling and longsword, this will work out well. This should work out well for that. I will test that out, and I'll get back to you on the main review. As I said, those little pieces there holding those fingers in, they're also riveted at the top of the fingers, except for the thumb plate, which has some sort of piece right over here to help it stay secured. And yeah, they seem fairly nice. There is an issue that was the main issue before. They do have a slight smell to them. It's nowhere near as bad as the first time if you watched my earlier review. It's something probably with the solvents. Originally, when I was talking with the company, we thought maybe the shipper had left them in less than perfect storage areas where they might have gotten waterlogged, but doesn't seem like that's the case. It's just it has something in the materials, has a weird smell to it. It's nowhere near as bad as I said from the first generation I got, the shipment I got 2 weeks ago. This is a lot better, and I can use it. Obviously, you've seen me put my hands in them, and I will be doing a full review after I've gotten to fight in this for a while. In addition to the two gloves, you get a repair kit. Like a Pro Gauntlet, they have a couple of extra strings. There look like some rivets in here. because you don't really want to have to send this back to China to have them fix it, send it back to you. So if you're used to doing repairs, they've kind of already got you covered, at least for your starter materials, in the case that you need to repair the gloves. You also get a glove bag, very nice, very fancy, with the company logo. And they'll tell you what size it is, so mine are an extra large. And I think that covers the basic review of the glove itself. And as I said, the next thing we kind of got to talk about is you can't go onto Purple Heart or HEMA supplies or anything to get these. So I will leave a link in the description below. You basically go to a Facebook page and you have to email this person in China. They set up a PayPal for you. It cost me in the United States $350. That was $290 for the gloves, $45 for the shipping, and there was like a $15 PayPal conversion handling fee. So it came out to a total of $350. And when you consider a Pro Gauntlet's $480 last check on Purple Heart, and it's probably about $20 to ship, so that's probably about $500. So there's $150 less than that. And you have to kind of decide for yourself if you'd rather just pay the extra money, wait the extra time, and get a Pro Gauntlet. This is just kind of another option that's out there. As I said, I will do a full review after I've gotten the chance to really fight with it for a couple of weeks, but I don't want to presume that it's better or worse. Also, full disclosure, I don't own a Pro Gauntlet, so I can't really compare it to that. And also, I'm not being paid by the company or everything. I bought these gloves with my own money, so my thoughts on it are fairly unbiased. If you want to ask questions, I'm perfectly happy to answer them. But like I said, you can't order them through most of the major HEMA sites. You have to order it directly from them. And getting your money back and things like that can be a little bit complicated. So just kind of a heads up. But as I said, I'll leave the link below if you're interested in ordering a set of these gloves. I ordered the gloves. Originally, they said the turnaround time was 2 weeks, and due to production issues on their end, it took a little over a month for me to get the first pair. And as I said, the first pair were kind of problematic. I actually wasn't going to recommend them at all to anyone to buy because my experience with the company, when I complained, they said, well, we shipped them in a box. And in all fairness, these came in a box. But when I got my first pair, they were in a little plastic mailer bag. And they insisted it was in a box. And I showed them, I sent them pictures that it was in a mailer bag with my address on it. And I had to do all that to prove to them that that was how it was sent. They would not take my word on it. And then they were like, well, we'll offer you, like 20% off on it. And I was like, this is unusable. The smell was horrendous. It made me want to throw up. It was just really, really bad. So they said, hey, we'll look into it and we'll get back to you. Now, a couple things happened after that. Number one, I put up my video. So they got to see my video, and they also now knew I run a channel on YouTube reviewing HEMA products. Their response after that was very different. Automatically, it became, we're going to send you out another pair. Please mail the others back. We will pay for the shipping for you to mail them back. And true to their word, I put them in the post office, sent them a receipt of the bill. They put the money in my bank right away for the shipping that I had to send it back. 2 weeks later, they sent it again. They said, I got this package. They shipped it differently. So it was, originally it was some other shipper. And then when it got to the United States, it was UPS. When they sent the second set, this set that I'm reviewing, they sent it UPS, like International Express. So it arrived 3 days if you don't include the weekend. They sent it, I think, Thursday or Friday, and it got here on Monday. So the shipping was very fast, but I don't know if they've changed their policy to ship that way all the time, or they just shipped that way to me the second time. The first time it took roughly 16 days from when they said they shipped it, and I got a tracking number to when it arrived at my door. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. They tell you it's going to be there in a week. The other one I didn't get for nearly, well, a little over 2 weeks. When I spoke with the company after we shipped the others back, they said they're going to talk to the shipper and maybe they're going to change services, which I would hope that they do for everyone, but you got to kind of take your chances with that. If I hear from them or if they post below, I'm certainly happy to share that information with you. As far as the gloves and my experience versus your experience, you may very well say, okay, they may not be as fast to respond if they think you're just an average HEMA person. As I said, I think I got 2 different responses based on me as just a general customer and then me as a HEMA reviewer and putting the only review of these gloves on YouTube. So that was, I don't know what your experience will be like. Is it worth the money? I think that I'm going to wait on judgment on that until I get to test them out, because as I said, it's $150 difference from these, going from these to Pro gauntlets, and it's about $80 less to go to the Infinity gloves from Sparring Glove that I have, and I'm generally pretty happy with those, but I did want to test it out. I know that Sparring Glove has a very, very long shipping time. I have people in my club who've ordered that have waited 4 and 5 months. So I was looking for an alternative, especially now with Spez having some production issues on their gloves. So I was looking for some options, and I saw this, and it was kind of a unique piece. And I really, as I said, I like the look, and they feel very comfortable. They fit well in the hand, or at least based on their measurements, I fit their gloves very well. This is an extra large. I don't know if they have an extra large, so if your mitts are bigger than mine, you might have some trouble getting into them, or they might not feel quite right. These do feel ridiculously comfortable for me, so I do like that. As I said, the only issue I have with them right now is they have a little bit of a smell, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not like it was with the other pair that I had received. So that's my initial impressions. So this is not a full review video, and if you're looking for that, I do plan to put one out, but I need to get a chance to fight it for a little while, and then I can better tell you what I think, what the strengths, the weaknesses are, whether the straps in the glove hold up. I know that with Sparring Glove, I've seen a few videos where things have broken fairly quickly. And while I have a repair kit, I'd rather not have to come back and say, yeah, after the first practice, I had to replace a bunch of parts. But that video is coming, so if you come on here, I had a couple people on the HEMA United forums who were like, this isn't a full review. And you're right, this is a first impressions video. As said, once again, this review is for the Gabriel 2.0. It is a 5-fingered HEMA glove. And as I said, I'll put a link to their video. They have a commercial. It's in Chinese, but I'll have that link below so you can view it. And in the comments section, they can explain to you how to buy it if you want to buy one. Once again, this is Ramirez with Tidewater Renaissance Fighting Arts, and I will see you in the next video.